Hello again, everyone. Welcome back into another episode of the Owls Perch. I'm joined today by first-year soccer player Maddie Cohen. How are you doing today, Maddie?
I'm good. How are
Great,
you?
great, doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I think you're actually probably the first year who's going to be on the show this year, so that's kind of exciting. So props to you for that. No pressure. Why don't you go ahead and start off by telling people a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, where are you from, kind of the normal opening question.
Okay. I'm Maddie Cohen. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
How long have you been involved in athletics? How long have you been playing sports?
I've started playing soccer and basketball like probably around when I was 5, and I stayed playing both those sports all through high school.
Very cool. What was your high school career like? Were you kind of equally involved in both of those, or did you kind of tend more towards soccer or basketball? What was your high school career like?
I tended more towards soccer. I played club soccer, and I always knew I wanted to play soccer in college. And I started playing basketball at like my local JCC. So then in high school, I decided I wanted to play for my school team, and yeah.
Very cool. So, what was kind of how successful were your high school teams? What high school did you go to, and kind of how far did you get in kind of postseason with those teams?
I went to Susquehanna Township High School. My soccer team wasn't great. My basketball team was really competitive. The farthest we went was the first round of states, so we went pretty far in districts, and it was a really cool experience.
That's really neat. Now, your high school team may not have been good in soccer, but you were part of a pretty good club program, right?
Yeah, I played for Eagles FC.
Okay, so I don't really know a whole lot about Pennsylvania club soccer or anything like that, but is that one of the more competitive ones in the region?
Yeah, it's a smaller club that we played in lots of tournaments out of state and high level tournaments.
Very cool. Very cool. Another thing you were involved in high school was something called Minithon. I know you were kind of one of the kind of main board members for that. Can you kind of tell people a little bit about what that was?
Yeah, Thon is something that Penn State puts on to help children with cancer, and schools in Pennsylvania, mainly in like central Pennsylvania, put on mini-thons where where students at high schools stay up for 24 hours at their school and raise money. And through like different events, I had the opportunity my junior year to be the family relations person. So I was the head of that committee, and I got to connect with families at my school that were affected by cancer and other families in the area. And I had the opportunity to tour the Hershey Med Center in the cancer unit, which was really, really incredible to see like where the money we were raising went. And then my senior year, I was the head of the fundraising committee, which was challenging due to with COVID. So we couldn't have our mini-thon, but we still raised a lot of money for those families. It's really neat.
Yeah, for sure. That's really awesome. I know I went to high school in Pennsylvania as well, and I don't think our school was involved in it when I was there, but these days still you see kind of students on the corners kind of raising money. There's a lot of like car washes and drive through even out here in our area. So it's definitely something, if you're a Pennsylvania person, you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting back into athletics, you said you kind of knew for a while that you wanted to play collegiately. When did you kind of figure out that that was something you wanted to pursue, that you kind of had the skill and the desire to keep playing soccer even into your college years?
I think, I tore my ACL in my 8th grade year, so I had to sit out my freshman year of high school, and I think like that's when I knew I wanted to continue to play soccer, and like I didn't want those next 3 years to be my last.
Okay. What was your college search process like? Were you kind of looking at mainly liberal arts schools? Were you trying to stay kind of local? Were you specifically looking D3? How did you kind of initially start that process?
Um, I was specifically kind of looking D3. Um, I wanted to go to a school with good academics and play college soccer. I looked a lot of schools in the Centennial Conference and um, in around me and around Philadelphia. Uh, yeah, and just Bryn Mawr felt like the best fit.
Very cool. What kind of ultimately made you decide to come to Bryn Mawr?
um, what I think what made me decide was just like the academics and the people on the team, and they all felt really supportive. And Coach Stinson and I really believe in him and what he's doing for the program.
Did you do an overnight here when you were visiting?
Yeah, I did.
Who did you stay with someone on the team? Was it a good time?
I stayed with Carly. They were doing like studying for finals or something.
All
But
right, so no pressure there.
yeah, it was cool to like, I don't know. They all hung out and studied together, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it was a really good experience. So transitioning into this past semester and you being a first year, obviously with the pandemic and everything, this has been a different first semester for you. What was it like trying to kind of adjust to the college life under the umbrella of this pandemic, and what was it like trying to kind of become a part of a team in the last semester?
Yeah, it was definitely not like what I was expecting for my first year of college, but I think everyone was really supportive and made sure that all the freshmen were okay. And I made a lot of great friends that I know will be my friends for a long time. And yeah, just having that support like made it easy to get through that.
Specifically regarding soccer, what I know it took a little while before you were able to get out on the field and even do some practices. What was it like when we were finally able to kind of make that happen? You were able to kind of kick the ball around and get involved with your teammates a little more. How'd that feel?
It felt really good to be able to practice with them and just see how everyone plays. And yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite moment or memory from the fall semester with your teammates? It doesn't even have to be on the field. It can be like a Zoom hangout, or is there something that a special moment that kind of sticks with you from last semester?
um I think like, I don't know, like when we did like secret psych or whatever those are, I really enjoyed that. And like just getting gifts from someone and knowing that like, I don't know, that the teams do that, I thought it's really cool.
So
Yeah.
for people who might not know, can you explain Secret Psych really quick?
Yeah, one of our teammates has like a secret psych and they get us gifts, and like my secret psych hung them on my door, and like I'd come back and then there were like the stuff on the door, and it was really cool.
Very cool. Yeah, kind of like a Secret Santa kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Going over to the academic side, what are you thinking of majoring in during your time at Bryn Mawr?
I'm really, I like really like the growth and structure of cities program, and I'm thinking of majoring in that. Um, yeah,
Very
I
cool.
I am I've always had an interest in like working in athletics, and I'm not really sure like what I want to do, but and I've also come to have an interest in architecture. So yeah.
So basically, the world is still completely wide open to you, as it should be.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you talked about having an interest in working in athletics too. Has that always been something you're interested in? How did you kind of get interested in kind of the sport management or the athletic field?
I got interested in that field a long time ago. My aunt and uncle, when I was little, were 8 athletic directors at Penn State, and it just really cool, like being around all those college athletes when I was little. And I always loved that. And now they work at Maryland, and I love being around sports and them and seeing what they do. And I think it's really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's so neat. That's very similar to kind of my career path too. So that's pretty cool. I know exactly what you're talking about. So that ties in a little bit to the Snell-Shillingford Symposium that the Centennial Conference just put on. And for people who aren't aware of what the Snell-Shillingford is, it's a weekend event. It's been going on for 22 years. It was started in part by Jen Shillingford, Bryn Mawr legend, former Bryn Mawr athletic director and head field hockey coach. And it's been going on, like I said, for 22 years. And it gives student athletes a chance to attend seminars and talk about topics related to careers in college athletics, specifically female student athletics. Can you talk a little bit about how you first heard about Snell-Shillingford and what made you want to attend that?
Yeah, I just got an email and I was like, this sounds interesting. And so I decided to apply, and I'm really happy I did because I learned a lot.
So what was it like, obviously going into someone who hasn't attended it at all? What can you describe it kind of from your own point of view?
Yeah, just throughout, like it was a 2-day event, and Saturday and Sunday, and we just went, a bunch of students in the Centennial Conference, female students, attended Zoom calls all day, and we listened to a bunch of speakers that are in the field of athletics, and they explained their stories and gave lessons, and then we talked in breakout rooms with coaches in the Centennial Conference and other student athletes.
So was there a speaker or a moment that kind of is most memorable to you out of the weekend?
Yeah, I'd say the first one I really enjoyed. Her name was Esther Wallace, and she started Playa Society, and she just explained how she had these really high goals and she didn't settle for less. And I really took that like away, that I should do that and apply that to my future.
That's awesome. That's a real good motto for sure. So what is kind of already mentioned, but what's something that you learned, or what's a thought that you kind of brought out of the weekend that you're going to kind of carry on moving forward, and how's it going to affect you kind of going forward?
Yeah, I think going forward, just knowing they talked about a lot, having a team, like all the speakers, and having people advocate for you, and just like women supporting women and holding high positions that are usually male dominated, and being able to do that with the support of others. And I thought that was really cool, that they all are wanting to support you, even though we all compete in the same conference.
Yeah, for sure. So what are your goals for the rest of your time at Bryn Mawr and going forward? What's like, and that's a very broad question, but like, do you have an idea of kind of how you want the rest of your college career to shape out, and what you'd like to do kind of after college yet?
I guess like if I can inspire other people in some way through my college career, in my time at Bryn Mawr, either through soccer or through a club event or volunteering, something like that, help others.
It's a good goal. It's a goal we should all have for sure. Wanted to wrap up with just a couple, just like a real quick rapid fire question. I've been trying to ask people just some fun stuff to wrap up. So obviously there's been a lot of downtime over the past few months. People have been binge watching a lot of stuff. I don't know if you're into that or not, but if you are, what's kind of one recommendation you have for people to binge watch? Maybe a movie, your favorite movie, or a favorite TV show you've watched over the last few months?
I watched New Girl for like the 3rd time.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. Nothing wrong with that. It's a funny show.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Uh, hmm, not at the moment.
That's all right. That's all right. Another another question I wanted to ask: is there any? Are you like? What are some of your other hobbies outside of athletics and Bryn Mawr, obviously?
I like to make art and draw.
Really, that's amazing. So you drawing is kind of your favorite aspect of art. Is there what's kind of one of the favorite things that you've drawn in your life?
Ooh, that's hard. I've been getting to art lessons every Sunday with my preschool teacher since I was little. So
Really?
yeah,
That's amazing. So for like 15 years or so, you've been doing this.
yeah. I'm
That's
working
amazing.
on draft right now.
Okay. All right. Do you like to do certain subjects or certain kind of scenes, or what is it that you like about drawing?
um, I don't know. It just takes my mind off things like soccer.
Sometimes we all need that. That's for sure. Well, cool. I really appreciate you sharing some of this stuff, and I'm glad you had a really good experience at Snell-Shillingford. I know it's a really important thing that the conference and the schools provide, so it's really cool that you got to attend. I was very excited to hear that. So thanks so much for your time. It was great to talk to you, Maddie.
Thank you.
All right, we'll catch up with you later.